What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today I've got a story for y'all that is quite out there, bro. It's a subscriber story about how when they were in kindergarten, one of the kids in their class bought a katana for show and tell. Yeah, that's right, just some little preschool ninja danger going on here. Realistically, though, I just figured it would be a absolutely crazy story time that y'all would enjoy. So without further ado, let's get into it. And be sure to press the like button, or no joke, no scam, you'll get visited by the wizard from Clash of Clans and he'll blow you up. It's like an eagle, stacking so much money you would think that it's illegal. I'm getting quiet now, laying low when you're rich, so I'm vibing now. Making out, stack the bread, cause you love the sound, just on my mind. Alright, so I think we all know show and tell, bro. It's one of the coolest moments of elementary school. You get to just come in and drop a big flex on everybody. But I guess some kids, just don't really get the memo on what they're supposed to bring. And this is one of those situations. So there's really three people we gotta know about here. We're gonna name the teacher Miss Tomato, just because, from the way it was described in this message, she was very round and red, so we're gonna go with Miss Tomato. And Ninja Kid is gonna be known as Clarence, and then the kid who sent this in is gonna be Mark, okay? Now, Mark, surprisingly, didn't have any beef with this Clarence kid whatsoever. Usually when I get a story sent in like this, it's something like that. Instead, Mark just happened to sit at the same little table as this Clarence kid did. And I don't know if y'all relate to this, but back in elementary school, bro, you used to have to sit at that little table of 4 desks kind of pushed together. And obviously you didn't really get to pick who you were around, but having to spend 6 hours a day with somebody, you just kind of get to talk to them. And up to this point, they hadn't really had a show and tell yet, just because show and tell is something that I feel like is slowly being phased out. All of my little older cousins are like, yeah, man, we would do show and tell every Friday. And I'm gonna be honest, we very rarely had that. But regardless, one day Mark is just kind of sitting there in the kindergarten classroom vibing, and their teacher comes and says that they're going to be doing show and tell that Friday. And every kid just starts getting hyped, bro. They're like, let's go, massive W, I get to bring a toy to school, everyone's getting hyped. And he looks and he sees Clarence has this devilish smile on his face. And the teacher had made the announcement near the end of the day so the kids could just talk about it a little bit. And sure enough, everyone at the table starts kind of talking about what they're gonna bring for show and tell. Mark says that he's gonna bring some Star Wars action figures, Another one of his friends says that he's gonna bring his Millennium Falcon so they can play with it. Everybody's just kind of talking. And it gets to Clarence's turn to kind of explain what he's gonna bring, and he just has this smile on his face, and he's like, trust me, everyone's gonna think it's super cool. So naturally, it makes them curious, and they start kind of asking, and the only hint that they managed to get out of Clarence was that it was something that ninjas used. And obviously, when you're a little kid, that's a lot of things, bro. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle weapons do be having some options out there. But regardless, they kind of were like, oh, whoa, you're bringing something ninja related? That's awesome. Because when you're a kindergartner, you just think ninjas are the coolest thing ever. At least I did. They sneak everywhere, and they have swords, and they know karate. That's basically the coolest thing little kids can think of, Anyways, the next day comes, and in comes Clarence, and he doesn't really have anything in his hands, and so they ask him what he brought for show and tell, and he tells them that he had to hide it on the playground before show and tell. So whatever, they're kind of like, that's kind of weird, I guess, but don't think too much of it. And homie had hid it on the playground because he knew he was going to get in trouble for it, but whatever. That day, everything's kind of going normally at first, and then show and tell time comes. And every kid is kind of getting up, sharing these things, and most of the items are incredibly normal, bro. It's like a Barbie, Star Wars action figures, like I said, a Game Boy, nothing that was too out of the ordinary. And the class gets through most of their stuff, and there's 2 people left. It's Clarence and this other girl that are the last ones to share their show and tell items. And so the teacher asks Clarence to go, and he very creepily is like, no, I'd prefer to go last. Which, listen, I understand that's a pretty normal thing for older people, but this is a kindergartner that's like, no, I would prefer to go last in show and tell so I can get surprisings. That should have been a sign something was wrong, but sure enough, the other girl goes, she does her thing on show and tell, and now it's Clarence's turn. He's the only person left that hasn't gone, everyone's attention is on him, the school day's almost over, and he tells the teacher that he's going to be right back because he left his show and tell item on the playground. So he goes, and they had a big playground with this fence and deep grass. And, you know, he goes over to the grass and he comes back and he's kind of hiding what he has in his hands. They could kind of see him through this window. And he comes back and he goes, all right, guys, I want you all to know that this is mine. It's not my dad's, which, you know, is proof that it was 100% was his dad's. Kindergartners really be cracking me up, bro. Nah, this isn't my dad's at all. I'm saying it's not my dad's because it's so not my dad's, and I just don't want anyone to think that. And obviously, if this was his, then this is an issue. And the thing that he's been covering up is like a small katana. A katana. I don't know if y'all have ever seen like the display versions of those, but they have like the shorter one usually and the longer one. Homie had the shorter version of the katana, and he pulls it out of the sheath, and sure enough, yeah, it's a whole sword, bro. Homie decided to pull up to show and tell with the metal lightsaber, the sword. And obviously, as soon as he pulls it out, all the boys in the class are like, oh, that's so sick. But the teacher immediately is like, oh my God, is that a knife? And, you know, he's like, no, ma'am, it's a katana. And she starts demanding that he puts it away. But little kid, Clarence over here is like, why do I need to put it away? But as he's saying, like, why do I need to put it away? He's like moving it around doing sword motions because he's a little kid who thinks that's cool. And listen, I understand it is cool, but when you're in a class full of kindergartners and you're a kindergartner yourself, yeah, we don't need you waving around a katana talking about how cool it is, bro. Someone's gonna lose an eyeball. So the teacher, like, very slowly walks up to Clarence and starts trying to tell him to put it away, and he does. Miss Tomato coaches this kid down, bro, which is nice. You don't want to get fruit ninja'd, and is like kind of talking to the kid about his katana, and once it's away, she's asking him questions about it, and he's kind of like, yeah, my dad has it in this part of the house, and he says it's mine when I'm older, but I'm not allowed to touch it. But last night when I saw that we had show and tell, I had gone into that room and taken it and hid it under my bed, and then today I snuck it to school on the bus. And so, like, the teacher, by prying, basically finds out that this kid has stolen his dad's katana or whatever. Why his dad has a katana, I don't know, and decided to bring it to school for show and tell and show it off instead. Obviously, the teacher, Miss Tomato, has to call like the principal's office and report this. She doesn't really have too much of an option, so she has to do that. All right, guys, I'm gonna interrupt the video for just 1 second. On screen now is an Xbox gift card. I give away a gift card in every video here on this channel as a way to just say thank you to everyone who's subscribed with those notifications on. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you never miss another post. And if you're already one of those people, well then, thank you very much. I mucho appreciate it, and I'll shut up and let you guys get back to the video now. Enjoy. So the principal and like the security dude from the school end up coming in, and they start talking to this guy about his katana sword, but for some reason they never like took the kid from the front of the class. He was still like in presentation mode and everyone's listening, and he's just telling them about the sword and whatnot. And finally, like after 5 minutes of them questioning him, they're like, okay, well, we're gonna get you out of here. And, you know, obviously this ended up coming out later, not the same day, but they took him to the office and obviously had to call his parents and, like, ask what was going on. And apparently, when they called his parents answered the phone and were like, oh my God, does he have the katana? Like, at some point during the day, as their kid was at school, they had started looking for it and, like, frantically tearing apart the house, trying to figure out where this sword went. Because I'm sure when you have a kid in your house, you're like, please tell me my kid does not be playing with the katana. Sure enough, yeah, he had actually taken it to school to try to show off. I will say that's a pretty bizarre thing to like bring to show and tell, bro, a katana, especially when everybody else was bringing toys. Like if you and the boys all agreed to bring different ninja weapons or something, I guess that would make a little bit more sense. But nope, in the middle of all these Star Wars action figures, up pulls the kid with the katana. You know the teacher had to have been so confused when she saw that, bro. She's like, I went to school for 4 years. I'm $50,000 in debt just to have a 5-year-old with a katana pull up to my classroom. I don't know, man. I feel like that's one of those situations where teachers really definitely deserve a little bit more pay. I'm not trying to take a katana away from an angry 5-year-old. I don't know about y'all, but kudos to them for making it happen. What's even funnier is Clarence did end up getting in trouble. They just didn't really have a choice whether or not, you know, you intentionally brought it for show and tell. If your parents knew you can't just bring a sword to school and get in no trouble. So he did end up getting suspended for a bit. But as I said, it wasn't like a you're an evil kid suspension. It was like, bro, the rules are the rules, and we really can't let you just bring a katana and have no consequences come towards you. On the bright side, I'm surprised it didn't kick off like a little arms race in the kindergarten classroom. You know, next show and tell, Joey brings a larger katana. After that, one of them brings a chainsaw. After that, one of them brings one of the weapons from Gears of War with the chainsaw on the front. Next thing you know, we got like nuclear scientists bringing their latest devices to the kindergarten show and tell to try to get some street cred for them. Realistically, though, I think that's gonna do it for the video, guys. I know this was a short one again. I'm working on a long one, I promise. I just figured this would be enjoyable school because, hey, dude, this is a pretty funny story. It's not every day 5-year-olds just be bringing katanas to school, but what do I know? If y'all are in the market for some G Fuel, the energy drink for gamers by gamers, be sure to use code SCRUBBY at checkout. You get a pretty solid discount. It helps me out. It helps you out. If you want more content, I do have a podcast called The Scuffed Cast. I'll put a link to that in the description, along with the link to the intro song. If you feel like giving that a listen, you can find that down there as well. Last but certainly not least, on the shout-out system, we got to give a shout-out to the merch, too. The main channel hit 2 million, so I've got the 2 million subscriber merch out. You can find a link to that down there, too. Other than that, I'm going to make sure that my 5-year-old, when he's 5, not that I have a kid yet even, has access to a katana so he can be the coolest kid at show and tell. That is going to do it for the video. As I said, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you've made it this far into the video, I'd really appreciate you commenting the word poop down below. And yeah, on that note, don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.